this video. My name is Denise Bellil, and I'm a serenity expert and positive intelligence specialist. Welcome to the It's All Good show. Lucas here for a chat. I have a guest today, which is Leontine Homulle, and we're going to talk about life. That's it, just life, just what life brings us, where we've been, where we're going, how things happen. But before we get started, let's first of all talk about why I call this show It's All Good. It's mostly because of my favorite cup that says It's All Good. And because that's the way I see my life. Like if you watch my episode last week, I was talking about becoming an empty nesters and being really sad that I lost my pet and of 17 and a half years. And but you know what, life goes on. It's been a couple of weeks now, and it's going to be 3 weeks next week. It's going to be a month after, and 2 months, 3 months. Life goes on. He's still in my heart, but he's always going to be with me even though he's not here. So my guest today is in major transition. She's, life is motion. That's why my coaching is called in motion coaching, because things comes, things goes, and we never know what can turn out when we make decisions. So let's welcome Leontine. And let me put that here so we can see that. And let's welcome Leontine and from warm Italy. So
Minus
warm,
five, but
-5,
okay.
really? Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to talk about that. Like it's been really cold and snowy here. So I guess you got snow in Italy too.
No, we
So,
have this perfect sunny, cold weather. But
oh, wonderful.
hello, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So welcome, Leontine. It's such a pleasure to have you here. We met online, I would say 9 months ago, maybe a year ago almost,
Yeah, I do
about a year
remember.
ago.
Yeah.
And we've been, chit-chatting almost weekly throughout the whole time. And she's an amazing lady. I really appreciate her insight, her way of being. So now she's here. So Leontine, tell us a little bit about who you are. You're in Italy, in the cold Italy. I guess Italy has cold too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm in
always
the
thinking
north.
Italy as the beaches and all that, but they have
Yeah,
mountains and cold weather too. So, but tell us about you, who you are. You're a mother of three, or two, three, three.
Yes, I'm an, Dutch, the originating, and we moved to Italy more than 35 years ago for work. Is my Dutch husband. The kids were literally born in Holland but grew up here, and they are all out of our house. And Denise and I met through our empty nest business. Already at that time, I was a little bit from, I really don't feel a big relationship with empty nest syndrome, because I think my kids, one lives in Holland, one lives in London, and the other in Geneva. So Amsterdam, London, Geneva. We are in Italy. But I think it's a huge achievement if your children are able to move out,
Yeah,
and it's just a, like you were talking about with the introduction about transformation. It is a huge transformation, and obviously it goes with pain and sadness, but it should also go with proud and happiness for them.
yeah,
And what I learned in these last couple of years, I can learn so much from them. There is a whole new world opening up, a new working world, a new cities, new experiences, and there's a different exchange than when they were living with us. And I'm super blessed because they like to come home, and when they come home, they come for us and for not just for a dinner, but also for a couple of days.
yeah,
But yeah, and talking about myself, I have been for the last 10 years trying to become someone, let's say it like this. And it was, I have to go back. I used to be in the energetic space, like facilitator of family constellations, Reiki. And then we had a kind of a financial disaster in our life. So I got in the fear from I have to make and create another income. And that brought me to go into property investments. I became slightly successful, but had a lot of problems. I sold the house, bought houses, sold houses, and still have problems with a joint venture partner after 10 years. no communication there. Then I thought, okay, I like to help other women. So a good way is through network marketing, MLM, multi-level marketing, and then I can create a team. I can help them set it
Mhm.
up.
Mhm.
Didn't work out because it was all money driven. Then it was the online. Once I started my first online business, my property business was going not well, so I didn't felt like pushing other people into property. And then the pandemic hit, and there was this course of KBB and afterwards to set up a membership. And I said, okay, now I have found the Holy Grail. This is it. I
I'm
can,
gonna have a membership. I'm gonna have
yeah,
thousands of members. I'm gonna
yeah, and
roll
especially if
in
someone
those.
buys a course and then I can help them implement it because that's the big problem. I just think I at least have now hundreds is maybe too much, but lots of courses on the shelf which I never finished or which I didn't implement. So the membership, that was it. And I really believed in it. And when we met, we were still talking about a podcast, and I loved the idea, and I still love the idea. But at a certain point, it became the excitement was away, and it became heavy. And then I thought,
Mhm.
this is even this is not the wrong way because it was all money driven. And I'm talking a lot, but this last couple of weeks, months, I have
That's why
been
you're here.
yeah, but maybe someone is wants to hear something else. But the last couple of months, and I got more or less this insight last week from I don't. I want people to come to me because
Mhm.
they're ready and they're interested how what I can mean for them because of my experiences. Instead that I have to convince people to come to me, like
Mhm.
by launching, by marketing, by social media. I didn't felt authentic enough, and I just couldn't put my finger on it. What I didn't like about it, but I think this is my answer. I want to be around people, or especially women, who are ready to change something or to ready that they say, okay, I'm stepping out of my fear, but I feel I need to change something. Where do I start? Something
Mhm.
like that. Doesn't
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, so I decided that's some kind of an opposite to close everything down so people can find me anymore. But
But
the
they
business,
will find you, right? They will find you
yeah,
where they need to find you. And I appreciate that, what you're saying, because often we're holding on to that thing in the past, right? That is like almost like a slingshot that never let go, right? Like we're being held so hard and we're holding on to the strap, right? That holding us back and pulling us back even more and more.
yeah,
But what
because
all we need to do is to let
yeah,
go of the strap so that we can be projected somewhere else. And too often we hold on old dreams. And if one of my sisters watching, she had a husband back in the years, and his dream was to go and work in China and make tons of money and do it. He had a certain business he wanted to do, and all he talked about is going to China. But after 5 years, we were all looking at each other. I said, he's never going to go to China, right? But it was attached to that. It almost ruined him, right? Because he had that dream that never materialized, but he would not let go. He couldn't see that that was not going anywhere. And that ruined him. That ruined his relationship. That ruined his life, because he hang on for so long without letting go. And too often we are afraid, more afraid to let go than what's ahead of us, right? We need
yeah,
to cut the
because
bridges.
also because it's hard to let go. It's letting go of your dreams, of your desires. It's admitting to yourself that it didn't work out. Plus, knowing that you have great courses, that you have great knowledge, that you have a lot to offer. And I've put a lot of time in it, a lot of love, and it's there on the shell. And it is good, even if I say it myself. But to let that go and say from, okay, it hasn't been for nothing because I have learned my lessons, or the lessons I have learned will show up,
Yeah.
or maybe in whatever shows up, I can use it again. But I find that the hardest because I have an ordner. I think it's thick like this. It's super nice courses. It's 6 weeks, 2 weeks,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
handouts, freebies, you name it. It was all around the empty nest, all about helping women with health, wealth, and mindset. And I'm super passionate about that. That was my hardest letting go of. And my first light bulb was when I was creating social media posts one morning. And I felt so drained at the end of the morning. I thought, this can't be it if it's so heavy. And the whole social media became more fake to me than ever. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody is the best. For a long time, every successful people have been homeless and full of debt. Now it's super. And don't get me wrong, I don't take anything away from the people who have a real depression, but it feels like many people now show, oh, I had a depression, but all the time they were showing up on Facebook or on Instagram, happy, smiling. Where's the authenticity? If you feel bad, show it, but don't fake it and say a year later, last year was so tough. Then
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
how
Mm-hmm.
can people trust and follow you? So,
It's almost like the crying wolf, right? They're they use that. I don't say like you, like I do know people, and we all have depression at some point or another. But often people would use that as a bouncing bouncing ideas to create something else. And
yeah, I don't know. It feels
yeah,
almost like from I don't know why they have
yeah,
to
yeah,
use that, like the homelessness or the debts. It's
yeah,
like a little bit throwing in your face for, oh, I did it, you could do it, and you're not doing it, so it's your fault. And
yeah, yeah.
that's that guilt play. I find it hard, and
Mm.
I have no idea where
So
I'm going.
so where does that lead you now? So where you're just enjoying life?
I told myself that for 6 months from now on, I won't start anything new. I just
Mm-hmm.
want to find out how to love myself really, and
Yeah,
that can be a heavy subject or not. I don't think it has to be heavy, but I think many women don't know how to love themselves because they have been giving so much during all those years that they lost connection. And it's also felt like giving out so much love that you don't know anymore how to receive it. And receive it from your children, from your partner, but most of all from yourself. And
yeah,
if you don't really love yourself and accept how you are, with or without being a property investor or the best MLM marketer or the best online business, best membership owner, or just a simple membership owner, just because of me, that's in this moment in life, that's my basic, what I
yeah.
want to learn and where I want to sit with. And from because I was looking outside myself, if I can help enough people. My whole life has been about saving, helping people. I used to be a nurse, an air hostess, and
And Reiki and all of that.
all those kind of things. And maybe it's time to help myself.
That's
And
good. I think it's a great attitude to have to, because I always say to, in order to succeed in anything, in order to be a great mother, in order to be a great wife, in order to be a great entrepreneur, in order to be a great coach, to be a great employee, you have to be great with yourself first. Because if you walk into those roles miserable and unhappy and not fulfilled, you cannot give from an empty cup. You cannot give from an empty heart. And I appreciate what you're saying. It's a good lesson to learn to really think of, how's my cup? Is my cup empty or is my cup full? And and it's made such that the cup cannot really be filled by other people. We have to fill it ourselves. Otherwise, it's just it leaks out, right? Like we can't expect other people to make us happy.
No, and I think very often we don't realize
Mm.
how there was this nice metaphor, or no, not it's not even a metaphor. I don't know how you call it, but if you have dirty water in your cup and it's just a little bit left of dirty water, but you pour clean water on it, the water will never become clean. So you have to clean out the dirt to be able to refill your cup. And I don't think I realized that I wasn't able to receive love, or that I I think that in my subconscious, I was just thinking, if I become whatever, then I'm worthy.
Mhm.
But I wasn't aware of it. It wasn't that it was in the front of my mind, but I see it now that for a long time, it was from, I'm doing something wrong, because otherwise it should have worked out. It was not that I didn't put time in. It's not that
And you were putting that wrong on you, right? I am wrong. I'm doing this wrong.
yeah.
I'm not good enough, or
So my message for today is really sit with yourself and reflect what is r- really important for you.
yeah.
What lights you up? What makes you happy? And what is something you can do about it? And it's to find something which lights yourself up without input, like you were saying, from the outside world. That's an extra, but yeah, just even if it's doing nothing, and be without judgment, without critic to yourself, because that crazy attic in you,
Yeah,
crazy tenant in your
the
attic.
saboteurs are right there judging you and,
Yeah,
telling you you're not good enough, or, it's not good enough, you're not perfect, you need to do this and that. But I found that also with what you said is very profound. And I hope people are listening and soaking it in, because the, like, just finding being the ultimate for me, I found that the ultimate thing in life is to be able to be happy with nothing, to
yeah.
be able to be happy, like with no house, no, like being homeless, being in the street and still be happy, right? I don't mean that people need to be homeless and live in the street.
Don't call it homeless. The other day, someone else called it home free, and I
Home
thought that
free, yeah, yeah.
so beautifully
Or
said.
houseless, that you don't have a house,
Yeah,
that's
but
okay.
less is like you're losing out on
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
and
home
you're
free.
free.
Yeah, I love
She
it.
was home
Home
free
free.
since, yeah, and she was swapping houses with other people, so she was living in all different
Spaces.
experiences, and she was home free. No mortgage, no
Yeah, yeah,
bills,
I
no.
love that.
I
But
loved
then
it.
but then she's happy, right? I mean,
Yeah,
she's like, you don't need, for those that think that you need the green grass, you need the house, you need the husband, you need the pet, you need the money, you need like the ultimate life. And I'm not there, but I'm working towards it, is to be able to have, we don't have those things and still be happy. So now the question is that people, well, yeah, but what makes me happy? Well, maybe is increasing your gratitude, finding more things to be grateful for, like waking up, like having all that technology around me. I mean, it's amazing. For some people, I'm a millionaire, right? Having all the technology I have around me right here, just in this little room, right? With the lights and the computers and the hard drive and the phone and everything that's around me. Like I live like a millionaire for some people, right? I have a roof, I have a roommate. I have, a large apartment. I mean, it's my health, I can see, I can talk, I can breathe, I can taste. The more we increase our gratitude, the more that increase our inner love, right, for ourselves and for what's around us.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so let that be the message for today.
Yeah, yes, changes and appreciate who we are, what we have.
Yeah,
And
and don't be afraid to, it's easier said than done, to let go of a situation where you know that it's holding you back in your happiness.
mhm,
It's, and sometimes it's also watching the situation with different eyes and change something. I'm not promoting that you have to run away from your partner if you're not happy or from your business, but reflect and ask yourself, what can I do to make me feel better about it or to make me even feel good about it? And if you can still do something, go for it. But if you're not feeling good about something, change it. Change it until you feel good
Mhm.
and do whatever it takes. And maybe that can be just sit back and do nothing and see what comes up.
Yeah,
I hope it'll work
a lot of
out.
people
Maybe
would
we can
say,
speak in.
I can't do nothing." Yeah, you can. Some people need to be busy all the time because
That
I
is me.
feel that they're running away from themselves, right?
Yeah, and also to prove themselves that they're so hardworking, and that makes them more worthy to be loved because they're
Mhm.
so busy. Because I don't even know what relaxing is. Felt almost guilty if I did nothing. Or
Yeah.
just I never watch a movie or during the day or read a book. It was always busy, 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 busy. Oh, working on the business. But yeah, maybe
Wonderful.
it's time to relax.
So people, you gotta learn to appreciate life as it is. Stop being so busy with your life to avoid being with yourself, because that's what it is, right? When we live a busy life, we don't take times to sit quietly with ourselves. And I think it has value. Like there's gurus, right, that says just sit and be quiet. And then the monkey mind, right, is going this, and that. But it's to learn to do that. It might not happen the first day. I remember a story that I read. There was a lady, she was like crazy, unhappy, and wanting to learn to meditate and be with herself. And she has two little kids, and what she did is when the kids were in having nap in the afternoon, she started to, and she couldn't find a place. She loved quiet place, so she would sit in her closet because it's muffled, right? It's quiet and muffled, and she would sit there for 5 minutes. So then 5 minutes became 10, and 10 minutes became 15, and 15 minutes became 20. And eventually that was her go-to. She was like, okay, even if it was during the day, she left the husband with the kids and said, okay, I'm just going to quiet down. And then she would go and hide and be with herself. And that was recharging her. That was giving her more energy to move on, building that quietness. But initially in that story, she said that her brain was going like crazy. She was thinking, okay, I got to do this with the kid. I got to go grocery. I got to remember to pick up this. I got to remember to do that. I got to wash the floor, whatever. But at some point, she was just able to sit and not think about these things and just quiet her mind and be with herself. And but it didn't happen overnight. She had, weeks and weeks and weeks of practice, and eventually it happened for 2 3 minutes. It's like, wow, I was quiet for that amount of time, and then more and more, and 5 minutes and 10 minutes. So and she became happier, she became more fulfilled, she found herself, she found, you know that place where she was able to
Yeah, I
be more
think
happy, right?
it's also from these times we want everything instantly, and but let's not forget that it took 50, 60 years to get where we are. So
Yeah.
if it takes a couple of months to
Months.
years, it's on a whole lifespan, it's not that much. But
Yeah.
we're so, at least me as well, so impatient. And what's next? And what can I do? And how can I put it to work? So it's a real challenge as well to say for 6 months I'm just zooming out, and well, maybe in 6 months' time, let's have another chat and see where we both are,
Yeah, 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 that
because
would
we're
be
both
interesting
in
in July.
transition. So there's a lot going on in both our lives. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think the universe is telling us something, and the fact that we're sitting here talking about this, for me, it feels a very private, intimate talk because I'm just discovering those things and saying them out loud in the public world. I don't know how I feel about it, but it's
It's a
part of
start of
life.
something.
Yeah, and I really felt to be here today with you. And
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. So, if people want to talk to you, can I share your email so that they
Sure.
can reach you?
Yeah,
So we have this email here. I think it should be coming up. AwesomeMLM at
yeah.
leontinehomulle.com.
It's a real easy email to remember.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, they can, if they watch it on replay, they can go on my YouTube channel. It'll be there in about 45 minutes, and then you can stop the video and then, and write it down. But, it's going to be also in the show notes, so in YouTube.
Okay.
So, so thank you so much, Leontine. It was such a pleasure to have that chat with you, our pre-show chat and this chat. And yeah, we'll talk before 6 months, but
Yeah, for
that'll
sure.
be interesting to redo another one in 6 months since we were we're both at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so
So
much for having me. And it was really special.
you're very welcome. So just stay there. I'll be right back with you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for listening. I hope you got some great insight from two ladies that are in transition and changes and wanting to create more happiness in their life just by being ourselves and without looking for exterior things to make us happy. And if you do want to have a chat with me, you can book a call here at tiny.cc/talk with Denise. And that's where you can have a call with me if you want to be on the show. And also, if you want to have more of my videos, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel with all the previous interview that I've done, which is youtube.com/ at Denise Billil. And finally, I have a gift for you. For those that are in transition, is starting over checklist. So when you download this checklist, you are able to have different ideas of things you can do when you are in transition to give yourself more love, to do things for yourself, and not so much waiting for the external things to come to you to make you happy. So that being said, thank you for being here. Until next time, be kind to one another, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.